Hey everyone, Mr. Smith here. We're going to go ahead and do the decimals review video, so let's go ahead and get right into it. So, these questions are very similar to the decimals practice you did in class, only I changed the questions around a little bit, and I changed the answer choices as well. So, similar, but still different. So let's go ahead and get to this. Which of the following decimals is equivalent to the unshaded model below? Just for this time, I decided to capitalize the word unshaded because I wanted you to make sure that you were going to do the unshaded part of the model. So in this case, I've got 1. I know that the whole thing is not shaded, so that means 0 holes. And I do want to emphasize unshaded. And it's going to be a little real quick, guys, because I left my color pencils back at the campus, so I can't really do cube strategy, so I'm going to just show you how to identify the key things this time around. So the entire model has to be shaded in order for you to have a number in front of the decimal. So in this case, it's 0 holes. Now for the unshaded part, the tenths place is the rods. So you have to have 10 complete squares like right here, only unshaded. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 unshaded rods. Sorry. And then you have, for the hundredths, it's the small squares. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, when you look at these carefully, you would have seen A is your answer. For number 2, the letter A on the number line represents which fraction? Well, from 0 to 1, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Remember, we are looking for the fraction, and we're focusing on the letter A. So it looks like it's 10 jumps to get over there, so I can tell you these fractions are tenths. So I would have labeled them 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, 5/10, 6/10, 7/10, 8/10, 9/10, and remember, 10/10 make a whole. We're focusing on letter A, and if we look carefully, again, letter A, 1/10. Now, number 3. Which fraction is equivalent to 74 hundredths? Well, I just said it right there, 74 hundredths. And we're looking for fraction is equivalent. So, let's go ahead and see. 74 hundredths. Well, I'm going to go ahead and put my markers here. This is the ones, the tenths, and the hundredths. There are 0 holes, 7 tenths, and 4 hundredths. So think of it as this. We have 74 pennies. Well, if I have 74 pennies, 100 of them make $1, and I have 74 of them. We do not even bother with thousandths, so C should have been already out. 74 tenths is an improper fraction, and we'll talk about those eventually. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that one. And I do see 74 hundredths here. All right, number 4. A bag of sugar has 8 75 hundredths cups of water. What is this decimal in word form? What is this decimal in word form? Well, 8 75 hundredths. If I have to, again, I'll say it one more time. 8 75 hundredths. Well, let's read these out from what I just said. 8 7/10, 5/10. That doesn't sound anything like what I said. 8 75 tenths. It's very close, but if I read this correctly, it's 8 75 hundredths. So B's out. And then letter C, 8 75 hundredths. There it is, right there. fairly simple. On number 5, I told you all there was a bit of a typo when I was writing this out. I accidentally wrote 3 for some reason instead of 4. So we're going to assume all these are 4, okay? So, at a county fair, a watermelon weighed an 86 4/800 pounds. What is this number in expanded form? Well, expanded form. I'm going to go ahead and fill out a decimal chart, a type place value chart. Here are my tens, my ones, my tenths, and my hundredths. So 86 4/800. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at each one and get the digits place value. Here, in the there's an 8 in the tens, so this has a value of 80. There's a 6 in the ones, so this has a value of 6. There's a 4 in the tenths, so this has a value of 0 wholes and 4 tenths. When we're talking about decimals here, we always start with 0 decimal. Always. And here it's 8 hundredths. So imagine these again, like we're like pennies. This is the dime, so this is 4 dimes, which is 40 cents. There's an imaginary 0 here, but we usually don't put it. And 8 pennies has a value of 8 cents. So when you add those all together, it creates the number above. So which of these answer choices looks just like that? A was the correct answer. Now, a student is given task cards and arranges them. When finished, the task cards show 4 times 100 plus 5 times 10 plus 8 times 1 plus 4 times 1/10 plus 3 times 1/100th. What is this number in standard form? Well, let's go ahead and figure this out. 4 times 100, our largest number is going to be in the hundreds place. So it's hundreds, tens, ones, tenths, hundredths. And if you notice, I am constantly making place value charts. So it's important for us to be practicing this. I'm going to read it as I see it. There is a 4 in the 100s place. So 4. Well, C says a 4 in the thousands. And B has a 4 in the tens. Those are out. So it's either A or D. It could not be here, to be honest with you. So what you want to do is you want to test every single one of them. So going ahead again, there's a 4 in the hundreds, so 400. There's a 5 in the tens, it's 5. And 8 in the ones, so 8 in the ones. A 4 in the tenths position, so 4. And a 3 in the hundredths position. So that's 458 43/100. So it turns out it was there. It was letter A. I'm noticing a long string of A's. That was not intentional. I can tell you that much right now. Number 7 was very similar to what we were just doing. The letter F on the number line represents which fraction in decimal? So once again, 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, 5/10, 6/10, 7/10, 8/10, 9/10, 10/10. And we're looking at letter F, and there it is. 10/10 and 1 whole. Perfect. Not that hard. Fraction and decimal was what we were looking for. I'm feeling a little under the weather again, guys, so I'm sorry if I'm kind of seem like I'm missing some things. My head's kind of dazed right now, so I apologize for that. Finally, number 8. Let me fix this real quick. Give me a moment. There you go. Which of the following is the correct representation of the model in expanded notation? Well, when we're doing the decimals now, these are 100 flats, but they represent one whole. So I've got 1, 2, 3 wholes. So they don't represent 10 or hundreds anymore, so that's not even it. Now, to get 2 rods, I have 2 full shaded rods, so that's 2/10. Well, I got 3 holes, and so it should be 2 times 1/10. Well, C has it, B doesn't, so B's gone. And it could still not be here. So we're gonna look at we're gonna see we have 500ths, and we do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we do have the 5 times 100th. So C was your answer. And again, the reason we were doing this is because we were looking for expanded notation. And that's the review, guys. You'll be seeing something similar like this upcoming week. Parents, if you have any questions, please contact me on Class Dojo or contact me via my school phone number, which is on the MBISD website, or through email. Enjoy the rest of your evening.